So we are looking at universal sets and subsets. Now, when we talk about universal set, what does it mean, or what do we mean by universal set? So universal set is basically the list of all objects or elements under discussion or of interest. So the universal set are the list of all members or all elements of interest or under discussion. So if you say we are looking at the people living in Ghana, then everyone living in Ghana, what it means is that every member or every citizen of Ghana here is part of what? The universal set. So the universal set is what? The list of all objects. So the set of all objects that are what? Under discussion or of interest. So we use this letter U to what? To represent the universal set. So we use this to represent the universal set. Now, let's look at the subset. So for subset, we are looking at what? Within the universal set, there will also be some other sets which will be what? Of interest to us. So let's assume, as I said, when we are concentrating on, so let's say your class, okay, so for your class, every individual in your class, let's say if you are 30 in a class, then we can say the universal set is 30 because we have 30 students in the class. Now, when we talk about subset, we are looking at within the universal set. If we have an interest in other groups, so within the class, we may have males and females. So if we are interested in looking at the males, then we will say the males are what? Or the males become what? The subset of the universal set. In the same way, if we want to look at fair people in the class, then the fair people will become what? A subset because they are what? Within the class. If we are also interested in females in the class, then the females become what? A subset. So as I said, the universal set is the set of all elements or objects under discussion. But for the subset, we are what? Looking at a set of elements within what? The universal set, which we are what? Interested in. So for the subset, we can use any alphabet to represent the subset. So if the set P is a subset of Q, if all elements of P belongs to the set Q, then we use this symbol. So this symbol is used what? To denote subset of. So whenever you see this symbol, then we are talking about subset of. In the same way, if you see this, then this also denotes not a subset of. Okay. So now let's look at this. So an example is if we have a universal set. So if we have a universal set U, which is, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the universal set is 1 to 5. Now let's look at the set A. So if we have the set A, which is what? Which is 2, 4, 5. And the set B, so the set B is 4, 6, 8. So we have the set B to be what? 4, 6, 8. Then we can say that the set A is a, we can say the set A is a subset of what? The universal set. We can also say the set B is not a subset of the universal set. Sorry, let me change this B to 6, 7, 8. Good. So the set B, which is 6, 7, 8, we will say the set B is not a subset of the universal set. Why? Because when we look at the universal set, we cannot see the element 6, the element 7, and the element 8 in the universal set. But when we look at the set A, which is 2, 4, 5, we can see that the element 2 is in the universal set, the element 4 is in the universal set, and the element 5 is also in the universal set. So therefore the set A is a subset of the universal set, but the set B is not a subset of the universal set. So now let's look at this. What's the difference between being a member of a set and being a subset? So the difference between being a member or belonging to this set is, so this denotes, so let's say this is what? A set A. So any element in the set A is what? A member of the set A. But for the subset, for this subset, what it means is that this should be what? A set from, okay, so it means this is what? This is subset. So what it means that this should be a set from the universal set. Then this is what? Member of or belongs to. So what this means is that an element in a set. So these are what? The difference between being a member of a set and being a subset. So being a subset means it is what? A set from the universal set. And don't forget, sets are what? Well-defined what? List of objects or elements. But elements or members are what? The individual objects within the set. So if you go back, you will see that the set A has elements 2, 4, and 5. But the set A, because all the elements in the set A, because we are talking about set A, and all elements in set A can be found in the universal set. That's why we say the set A is a subset of the universal set. Let's look at B. For the B, the elements or members of set B are 6, 7, and 8. But because we are talking about set B, the set B, we can see that all the elements in the set B cannot be found in the universal set. That's why we say B is not a subset of the universal set. So these are the difference between being a member of, but 6 is a member of the set B, but the set B does not qualify to be a subset of the universal set. So these are the difference. Now let's also look at an empty or null set. So empty or null set. So when we talk about empty or null set, it is what? Any set that contains no element or no member. So any set that has no member or contains no element is what? An empty set. And it is denoted by, so we denote empty sets by what? Denoted by, so we can use this curly bracket. So now you can see there is no element or object within the set. So we can use this curly brackets, or we can what? Also use phi. So this or this represents the empty or the null set. So any set that contains no member or has no element is an empty or a null set. Now let's look at complement. When we talk about complement in sets, when we talk about complement, then what we are saying is, so let's say if we have the set A, okay, so if you have the set A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, but before that we have the universal set to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the set A has 1 as an element, 2 as an element, 3 as an element, 4 as an element. But in the universal set we have 1 as an element, 2 as an element, 3, 4 and 5. So when we talk about the complement of A, it is what? Denoted by, so we denote the complement of A by this. Okay, so when you see this, what it means is that A, the complement of what? A. And the complement of A, what it means is that they are elements in A, okay? There are elements in the universal set that cannot be found in what? In the set A. So any element in the universal set that cannot be found in the set A is A complement. So what it means that for the set, so if you are looking for the set of A complement, then it will be what? Which element is in the universal set but not in the set A. So it's 5. So the complement of A is what? Is 5. That's the meaning. So any element in the universal set that cannot be found in the subset is what we call the complement of that subset. So now let's look at another one. So we have a universal set to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and we have B. So the subset of B is 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, let me use this rather. So now for the subset of B, we have 2, we have 6, and we have what? 10. So to find the B complement, as I've already explained, they are the elements in the universal set which cannot be found in the set B. So this is 4 cannot be found in the set B. 8 can also not be found in the set B. So it gives us what? 4 and what? 8. Now in sets we don't use end, we use only what? Comma to what? To just show the differences in numbers. So 4, 8. So this is the complement set of what? B. Okay. Now let's look at the complement of the universal set. So because we are saying that complement means the numbers in the universal set that cannot be found in the subset. So now when we talk about the complement of the universal set, which means the universal set, so let's look at this. When we talk about complement of this, then it means that we are looking at what? When we talk about universal set, because it is very broad, the complement of the complement of the universal set will give us an empty set. So it's an empty set. And I hope you understand that. Yes. So the complement of the universal set is an empty set. But the complement of a subset will give us what? Any element in the universal set that cannot be found in that subset. But if it is talking about the complement of the universal set, then it will give us the empty or the null set.